Good evening, believers. This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. I am so glad to be here back with you again this week. Oh, we missed last week because of Thanksgiving, but we are back thankful that we can be together. It's exciting. All right, I'm so glad to be back with you. Back over here live on Instagram. Excellent. Looking like everything's lined up like I need it to be. Oh, wait, Instagram isn't responding. I had trouble on Facebook, week before last. So now I got to have trouble on Instagram too. All right. Well, I'm going to go on while that's getting itself together over there on Instagram. Hello, how are you doing? If you have never been with me before, let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I am Love Coach Dasha, and I am here to talk to you about staying and reconciling after infidelity. Seems like a crazy topic. I know. People tell me all the time. Either it's a great idea to help, or oh my God, how can you tell these poor women that? And I was one of those people that got told, oh, you poor thing, you need to just leave him. I was the same exact way that you are when my own husband cheated. And it has been 16 years since the last D Day, not the first, but the last D Day that we had together. And I'm trying to tell you, when I got my healing in order, when I started working on my healing, started going forward with my healing, he started getting his stuff together, and we got better as a couple year after year after year. It gets better and better and better. I'm here to tell you that it does not have to end. It doesn't have to be terrible from here on out. You don't have to be unforgiving for the rest of your life. You can forgive and you can be happy all over again with the same person, even though you've been through this trauma. So I'm here to tell you what I know about doing that. All right. So if you're with me now, I see a few people coming in on Instagram, over here on the Facebook. If you're not with me already on my Love After Cheating Facebook group, come on over and join there. I try and make sure that I answer some questions in the group, and of course, I will answer you right here. So come on over, join me in the Love After Cheating group if you have not. Taylor, I see you out there. Hello, hello. Glad you're here. Anybody want to say hey? Let me know. All right. So now that we got everybody here, I'm going to start talking to you about the things that I'm going to always tell you to do to be able to start getting over this trauma. Okay. You have been through a major trauma. You have to start treating the trauma. Okay. We have to start doing something about that. I know we get a little stuck on what is he going to do to fix this? I know that's a thing. I know that it feels like that has to be the only thing that is considered in your healing is what is he going to do to fix what he messed up. But I'm here to tell you that a lot of the healing that you're going to do from this trauma is going to come from inside you. It is not going to be from him. Okay. And if you've been trying to deal with this a long time, right? If it's been a couple of years and you're still angry, you're still hurt, you're still upset, I can tell you right now why that is. It's because you're still expecting your healing to come from him. I'm trying to tell you, it doesn't work that way. I wish it did. It would be so nice if we could just get them to do all the work to heal us, but it doesn't work that way. To heal the trauma within yourself, you're gonna have to work on that trauma within yourself. Okay? I'm sorry. There's no other way about it. There's no other way you're going to heal unless you start to do that. All right. So it happens over there on Instagram. Hello. Glad you're here. All right. So the first thing that you're going to do to help yourself, to start to deal with this trauma, to start to get control over your emotions, is do your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? I'm trying to tell you, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not doing your deep breathing. All right. If you're not doing that consistently, you are living with the anxiety of this trauma jacking up every time you think about it, but you're never pushing it down. Does that make sense? If you're never ever doing your deep breathing, that anxiety level is constantly rising. You may have good moments where you feel like it's not in the moment rising, but it's steadily going up and up and up. We got to get something to bring it back down to a baseline where we can handle it, back down to where we can actually get a grip on it. All right. So Deep breathing is how you do that. Deep breathing is the way. I'm trying to tell you, you need to be on it. All right. Now, we do 4, 7, 8 breathing when we do our deep breathing together. You can do it's yoga breathing, pranayama, I think. I forget exactly how to say it. I'll tell you the next time. But it is breathing in for a certain amount, breathing out for a certain amount. So breathing in for a count of 5, breathing out for a count of 5. You can do that. Very, very simple to do. If you can't remember the 4, 7, 8 thing, that is a good place to start. All right. But we do 4, 7, 8 breathing. What we do is we blow out, make that noise. We want to trigger our brains that when we hear that sound of, we are starting to calm down. I worked with a lady last year whose husband knew that she was trying to get in control of her emotions and she was doing her deep breathing because she started off with, he knew to pay attention then, okay? He knew, okay, she is obviously wrestling with something right now. Let me pay a little bit more attention to her. Let me let her know that I understand that she's having a hard time. I need to help do something about it. If you start down the path, he's gonna have to join you, okay? All right, but we do our first exhale, then you're gonna inhale for a count of 4, hold that breath for a count of 7, and then you're gonna blow out like you're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. All right. When you're doing this, what it does is activates a different part of your brain. The part of your brain that is freaking out, that is asking you a whole bunch of questions, that wants to cry, that part of your brain is way back here. It's like the reptilian part of your brain. It's the first part of our brain that developed, the base part, okay? When we are introducing numbers and counting and trying to remember a sequence of numbers and doing that out loud, what we're doing is waking up a different part of our brain. We're up here in the frontal area where we have rational, logical thought. We got to activate that part instead of letting that animal brain just freak right out on us and stay freaked out. All right. Let me know if that doesn't make any sense to anybody. I'll try and explain it better, but it's an important thing to be doing your deep breathing. It activates a different part of your brain than that fight or flight response. So, blow out, inhale for 4, hold for 7, blow out again for 8. We're going to do that 3 times in a row, but I want you at home every single solitary day from the moment you do this with me, 5 times a day. That's what I want you to do. Do this exercise 5 times, 5 times a day. All right. Promise me, cross your heart. You're going to do that for me because it's going to help tremendously just from the very beginning. Okay. All right. We're going to do it together 3 times though, just for the sake of time right now. All right. First thing we're going to do is blow out. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lovely, right? How does it feel when you're doing your deep breathing? Should feel pretty good. It is a second to catch hold of yourself. When you are counting like that, your brain is not overthinking, is it? You are focused on the breath coming into your body and going out of your body. A lot of the anxiety and the thought issues that we have with this trauma are solved by going back to your body, by paying attention to your body. And the simplest way to pay attention to your body is to pay attention to your breath coming into your body and going out of your body. It is a constant. You can always go back to it. All right. As long as you are alive on this planet, you can always say, wait a minute, hold up. I need to go back to my breathing. Okay. That is what you do every single solitary time. When the thoughts get too much, when the weight on your chest is heaviest, when you are freaking right on out, go back to your breathing. Okay. Any questions about that? Any thoughts, questions, comments? Let me know. All right, but I'm gonna move on. The next thing I need you to be doing, I need you to be doing this on a regular basis. Okay, I need you to do this. All right, the group that I have come up with, the group I'm starting a group program tomorrow. Those ladies are gonna get access to my journal. I made a journal myself, and we're gonna test it out and see. So if that journal passes the test with the group, I'm going to be introducing it to you so you'll have my journal filled with all the things that I'm telling you to journal about. Okay. So hopefully that'll be shortly, a couple months from now. But right now, anything. It does not matter what your journal looks like. I've got, oh, this is a unicorn one. Look at that. Oh, and it even comes with a pen. Isn't that beautiful? I think this came from Family Dollar. This one. This one was Dollar General. Oh, so shiny and sparkly. It does not matter what you use right now, okay? Start journaling. It does not matter what you use. If you don't have what I tell you to put in the journal, that is fine, just as long as you start to journal, okay? What you need to do, right from the very beginning, you need to have your date, you need to have your time, you need to have your level of anxiety. Date and time so that you can figure out what time things happen. It may be a particular day of the week that you're going to freak out. We just passed by the full moon. You need to keep track of that and know, oh, when a full moon comes, I'm going to want to say something. I'm going to be crying. I'm going to be a little teary and emotional. Let me write that down in my journal so I know it's about to happen. All that type of stuff you need in your journal. But you're going to do your date and your time so you can be able to tell those dates and times when they start to roll around on a regular basis. You'll be like, hey, Thursdays, 9:15 p.m. I start to freak right out. What is going on at that point? Then you get to look at what has been happening. Is that he gets home later then? Is it, that we have spent the entire day apart now? I'm more anxious because I haven't talked to you. All sorts of things could be happening, but you won't know that that's a trigger until you start writing it down and you see the pattern. Okay? When you are traumatized, you think that your memory is great. You think that you're remembering everything with crystal focus, and I'm here to tell you, you are not. Okay? You don't remember half the stuff that you think you remember when you were in this traumatized state. So, sitting down with your journal, writing it out will help you understand that, okay, this has happened, and it happens on this day, and it happens around this time, and I can see that pattern clearly. Okay? And then you need your level of anxiety. Your level of anxiety is your level from 0 to 10 to measure how bad you're feeling right now. What is going on inside you if it's bubbling up, feeling awful, all right? 0 to 10, 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. You're great, all is right with the world. That is an important thing to say. Write that down, put that on the star or the corner of your page so you know that you have had good days. When you write those days down, you're like, I am not feeling bad at all. Cool. Write that down. All right. Then there's a 10. A 10 is an absolute loss of control. A 10 is I want to rip my clothes off, tear my hair out, run screaming down the street naked. That is a 10. It's a loss of control. You're not sitting at your journal with your pen in hand if you're at a 10. So don't write down 10 if you're not really a 10. You can write down later that you were a 10. But if you're in the moment and you're in a 10, you're probably a full-fledged panic attack at that point. You're probably not journaling. All right. 10 is that loss of control. Now we have effects. Now we have parameters. This is as big as this feeling can get. I know it feels god awful right now. I know it feels like Godzilla. It's huge. It is towering over the city. I know that's what the feeling feels like. But if you start considering it only 0 to 10, you have a fence around Godzilla. You can't let it escape anymore. It can only get as big as a 10. That's as big as the monster can possibly get inside your head. All right? So I need you to be doing this. Write down your thoughts. 5 minutes. First thing in the morning, right before you get ready to go to bed. If you're doing that consistently, you will find things much more simple to be able to go back and look at how you're feeling about things, to be able to figure out patterns and triggers. It will be much, much simpler. It is worth the time. All right. And you are worth the time. This is a couple of minutes self-care. I'm not asking you to write an entire book. I am asking you to spend 5 minutes in the morning when you wake up on planning your day and thinking about what could go wrong and what could make you anxious and what could make you feel triggered. And then before you go to bed, writing the stuff down that didn't go well, the things that did go well, getting things out of your head so you can have a good night's rest. All right? Can we do that? Can we do that? I want to do that. Do your journaling consistently. Consistently. I'm trying to tell you, you will find things in that journal you've never thought you'd find. Third thing that I'm always going to tell you, I will say every single solitary week we are together, I need you to get an attitude of gratitude, okay? I need you to be happy about just living, okay? I need you to get back to that. The trauma will try and tell you that your life is awful. It has always been awful. Nobody has ever loved you. Nobody has ever cared about you. It will never be okay, all right? And there are a lot of things that are going on in your life right now that are working. I need you to go to those. I need you to go to those things. I need you to think about the things that you are absolutely grateful for. Because grateful is a good feeling that is not totally happy and healed. All right. Grateful is not misery anymore, but it's not totally all better. All right. It's a step, it's intermediate steps to get to as happy as you can be. All right. If you can start with grateful, you can get to happy. But if you're just miserable and you don't even do grateful, you're not going to get to happy. All right. So we need to be grateful for things every single solitary day. Right now, I am grateful for this lipstick. I am in love with the Icon series with Rihanna. Love it. Absolutely love wearing this lipstick. And this is a time in my life where I wear lipstick. I didn't before. I didn't wear a lot of makeup or anything before, but I'm on camera all the time now, and I thought, a little color would be nice, and I enjoy it now. I'm grateful that that's in my life. I'm grateful for microphones. I'm grateful for Facebook. I'm grateful for Instagram. I'm grateful for all of you beautiful ladies who are so kind and compassionate and vulnerable and want your love to survive. I think that's one of the things that I'm the most grateful for is the fact that you all are a group of women who know you want love and you are willing to pursue love. I think that is a beautiful thing. It makes me happy. It makes me grateful to be here. All right. So you need to be thinking about the things that make you grateful, the things that make you feel good in your life. Okay. Right now, we are in a position where we have to move. We don't want to move from this place. We just got here like about a year and some change ago, but the circumstances change. We have to move away from here. I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm grateful for the time that we have here, and I'm grateful for the adventure of a brand new place that, hey, might be even better than this place. You never even know. So, gotta be looking for the things to be grateful for every single solitary day. If you don't do that, you won't look for the good in your life. And when you stop looking for the good, the trauma just takes over and just rules you. That's what you live for the rest of your life is that misery, that sadness. And I don't want that for you. Okay. So gratefulness. So that's why I do Thirsty Thursday. Now I don't see anybody for Thirsty Thursday, but if you're here with me, ladies, tell me some good stuff that has happened in your lives this week because I want to hear about the good stuff. All right. I want to hear. My head cold is almost completely cleared up, so I'm grateful for that. All right, but if you've got anything, leave it in the comments, and I will give you a shout out because I love to share the good news. All right, last thing, the last thing that I always tell you every single solitary time we get together, and I want you to really hear me on. I want you to stop asking all those questions. I want you to stop. I know you want to ask. I know you do. I know your heart just breaks to ask. You want to ask every question that you have. And I bet you will. You've asked quite a few already, right? A lot of the time when you start asking all those questions, you start leading yourself down a very painful road, down into the woods, okay? You're not leading yourself onto the healing path with the questions. Your brain, your trauma will tell you that that's what you're doing, but it's not true, okay? Your brain will lie to you. Your brain is lying to you because it wants to collect as much information on this problem as it possibly can. And so it compels you. It makes you want to ask a whole lot of questions. That in and of itself, that desire it's like you are salivating to ask a question. That particular feeling should let you know that it's your trauma talking and not your regular brain. You are dying to ask something. All right. It's like an itch in your brain and you can't stop it. And you all of a sudden you just let that question fly. And then he says something stupid because of course he does. Because any answer to any of these questions is going to be something stupid that you're not going to be happy with. But you've let it go now. He's giving you this answer. Now you have more information, and your brain uses that information against your attempts to reconnect. All right. So we've got to stop feeding that ability of our brain to stop us from reconnecting. All right. We've got to be working on that every day. Don't ask all those questions. I know you want to. Don't do it. All right. Now, that being said, I know it's an itch. It's like an itch in your brain, and you can't really stop that idea from happening. So this is a better idea. This is the and. THEAND. The and it is a set of questions that you and a lover can ask. So this is the healing edition. But there are other versions. I'm always playing with the other cards, but I never have them right here with me when I'm talking to you. I got the long term relationship one. I don't know where the heck it went. All right. Either way, I've got a couple of these. You can go on Amazon and get this. It's like $30 for a deck. The and THEAND. If you put that into the search, it will pop right up. And it is much better questions to ask. The questions you want to ask, the details, did you love her? What position did you have sex in? How long? You don't need any of that. None of that is productive. None of that is helpful. So these questions are a little bit better. When you have that itch in your brain and you just can't stop without asking a question, these are better questions to ask. So I'll give you a couple of these so that you have some throughout the week. Now, if you get this deck, do not sit down with him and try and deal out 40 cards, okay? This is not a game of Uno. You do not need to load down your hand with a whole bunch of cards, okay? Just a couple of them, 2, 3 of them is good for a really long, detailed conversation because you ask the question, okay, then he can ask the question, then you can switch around and ask the same question back to each other. You have plenty to do without answering every question in this deck, okay? 2, 3 at the most. If you do more than that, you risk losing his interest. He's not going to be interested in answering question after question after question after question just to satisfy that itch in your brain. So you want to make this be a quality time, answer these questions, and like really give yourself a good scratch from this brain itch about asking the questions. Okay. All right. So let me give you a few of these. What's something I have done that you don't think you could, and why? That's a damn fine question. There's some really good questions in here. What's something I've done that you don't think you could, and why? Isn't that a good question? That's a way better question to ask. That is a connecting question. That is, I am here with you. We are doing the thing together. Tell me about a strength that you see in me, and why didn't you think that you could do the same thing? That is a good thing to ask each other, all right? Better questions. That's what we need to do. Next one is, when was the last time you misunderstood me? And what have you learned from it? Oh, see, that's a little bit more in the vein of what you want to ask about. Now, don't get mad if it's not all about the cheating, okay? If he answers you and he was like, when was the last time I misunderstood you? And he says something where he misunderstood you, but it's not about the cheating, don't get mad, right? You want to have conversations like this. You want to know these things regardless of if it's about the cheating or not. I know that's all you want to talk about, but we're working on the entire relationship, not just that part of it. All right? And one more. In what ways do you think we perceive life similarly? That's a great question. Gets you on common ground. How do we think alike? Not the things that we're different in. How do we think alike? How do we get along best? That's a good one. In what ways do you think we perceive life similarly? Good, good questions. I love this deck. This is an excellent one. It's a good tool to have if you are freaking out and you want to know, but you don't want to ask questions, or you're listening to me and you're not asking questions about the affair and about the entire relationship between the two of them. This is a much better way to go about it. All right. So that's all my basics right there. That's the stuff that I'm gonna always tell you every time we get together because it's important stuff. This is stuff that I had to learn the basics before I could heal. Okay, simple stuff like your breath. Okay, paying attention to your breath. It's a very simple thing. There's a reason for it. If you are a little bit triggered, activated. The part of your brain is way back here. It's a little grape-like portion of your brain. It is called the amygdala. It's the worst case scenario portion of your brain. It's the part of your brain that thinks of, ooh, what if this happens? All right. That part of your brain that's like, what if he's cheating again? What if I just don't know it? That's where that's coming from. It's coming from your amygdala. All right. As soon as that is activated, it changes the way you're breathing actually happens. You start to breathe more shallow, a little bit faster, all right, so that your blood can get more oxygen to go to your large muscle groups. Because remember, this is a fight or flight response, so it is going to your body so that you can fight or you can run away real fast, all right? So you are changing the way that you are breathing, anticipating that you are going to need that response. You're going to need the fight. You're going to need the flight. All right. If you find yourself in this situation and you don't want to run away, you don't want to fight, you don't particularly want to freeze, then none of that is good for the situation. Okay. It's not useful. So we need to do something to counteract that. Tell our body to calm back down so that you can think, because that blood flow going away from your core going into your large muscle groups. These are in your thigh muscles, your butt muscles, going to those larger groups means that there is less blood going to your brain. All right? It's very simple physical reason why doing deep breathing works, but people don't want to do it because it seems like it's just a simple thing to do, but it works. Okay? It is working with the mechanisms that are activated in your body when you have a traumatic event. You have to work with it, not try and make him do it. That's why so much of it comes from within you, because you can't make him make you breathe. Okay? You can't do it. He cannot do it for you. All right? You have to remember, ooh, my body is feeling some kind of way. My chest is tightening up. My heart's beating real fast. I feel the blood whooshing in my ears. My face is getting all red. Ooh, I'm going into fight or flight. Let me do my breathing. Calming yourself, centering yourself, getting back in control of your emotions so that then you can communicate properly. You can't communicate if you're freaking out. If there's no blood going to your brain, or way less blood going to your brain, and all you want to do is fight or run, how are you going to communicate? How are you going to get closer? How are you going to fix that? Because you can't do it in that state. You have to take back over control of your body and do the things that will help you stay in control of your emotions to be able to heal from this. All right. Does that make sense? Let me know if anything sounds crazy, you don't understand how it works, because it's a pretty simple thing. If you can get back in control of your breath in your body, you're going to calm down. You're going to feel a little bit better. You're going to be able to communicate better. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's see. So I don't see any questions on the post or anything, but I am here for you and I want to answer your questions. So whoever is here, ask me. Let me know what's going on in your brains, what is happening with you, what do you need to know to be able to start to move forward. All right. I'm here for you. I see you with me. Come on here and ask me some questions. I love this part of the show. I love to be able to sit here and answer your questions. I enjoy actually having the answers for you. I remember, always searching for the answers and feeling so bad about that. And, once I get on something, like I got kind of hyper fixated on this when I was going through it, hyper fixated on how I could fix it. And I asked all the questions and I came up with the answers. I found those answers. So I'm happy to share them with you. I do not gatekeep this information. I want you to know. I don't want you to be wandering around here blind trying to figure out how to do this on your own. I had to do that. It's unnecessary. I got the information. I want to share it with you. I want you to know. All right. All right. Let's see. Somebody was talking about doing EMDR therapy. I think that's cool. EMDR is the use of lights in your field of vision. You pay attention to the light, and it helps you to be able to detach a little bit and be able to talk about trauma without it re-traumatizing you. That's a big part of the problem with asking the questions, is because if it's a trauma, if you talk about it, it will re-traumatize you. Okay, lots of people experience that where, okay, I'm trying so hard to talk about it, get it out, but it hurts so much to get it out that it's just as bad as when I first experienced it. So I want to back away from that. And then you don't talk about it, and then you kind of just let it fester, and then you never get anywhere with your healing. So if you have something to make it a little bit easier to think about those issues, to think about the pain, to think about the trauma without it actually traumatizing you again, that's a good way to go about it. So I've seen people do EMDR with a therapist, and I've seen people do it with an app. And apparently it works in both ways. So, if you want to try that, that's an excellent thing to try. All right. So, oh, dang, okay, questions. Hey, y'all. Maria, you said I'm 66 years post D-Day. Breath work is a lifesaver. Ain't it, girl? Ain't it? I'm trying to tell you, Maria, gotta clutch down on those emotions. You got to breathe through it. You got to tell your brain what you want your brain to do, because your brain will listen to you. But if you are just freaking out, your brain will just go on autopilot and do what it normally does. When you do that breathing, it centers you, calms you, gets your brain working in good order again. Then you can actually get somewhere. All right. Elise. Hi, Elise. You said if you could give one bit of advice in just a few statements to help someone continue to live life normally and happily, what would it be? To live life normally and happily, you got to remember what that is. Um, One of the very first things that I do when I work with women is I'm like, describe what life is like if you're all healed up. If you're healed and you are loving and open, and things are wonderful between the two of you again, what are you like then? And to do the things that you would do then now. However it is you imagine yourself to be, if you're all healed up, do those things now. A lot of the time, it's not really faking it. It's about creating the future. The moment that you're living in right now, where the pain is, okay, that moment wasn't created now. That moment was already created back in the day when all this went down, when the thoughts were happening. The misery you're living in now is not created right now. What you have to do is go forward into the future. Think about what you would like that life to be like if it's all good, it's all cleaned up, everything is wonderful, things are going well, life is, who would you be? How would you act then? And then act like that now. And then you start to move towards that life. You whatever you act like, you become. So if you keep on acting like you are happy and control, you're the queen, you're the goddess, you are the most important woman in this man's life, you're just happy with it, you that, and you tell yourself that is your story, that's the story that will play out. Does that make sense? Let me know. That wasn't in a couple statements. I get into it, but yeah, And be who you would be if everything was healed. If you were all happy and things were wonderful, be that person. All right. Maria, he said, what if I feel like I'm healing away from him? I work so hard on me all the time, literally daily, and he is stagnant. He's supposed to be in an essay, and in 6 years, he's never made it past step three, and has only gone to 2 or 3 meetings this year. Um, okay. It's a little bit okay. The first thing is stop worrying about him. That's the first thing that I need to say to you. You are paying so much attention to him. That's why you're feeling like you are healing away from him. You are constantly looking back. What's he doing? How's he handling it? Is he doing what he's supposed to be doing? Instead of just focusing on what you're supposed to be doing. Because you create a connection with him. Every time you flip back around, turn around, and see what he's doing, you create a connection with him. So he never thinks that you have progressed that far. Does that make sense to you? You need to start progressing and not turn around. You ever seen, this is something that they don't tell you to do anymore, but when I was young, you could just walk away from a kid. When a kid is having a freaking tantrum in the store, to just walk away. All right. I know it's not a thing now, but it used to be when I was a kid. You could just walk away. And after a couple of seconds, this kid is going to look up and he's going to realize all he sees is your back going away from him. And then he gets himself up off the floor, dusts himself off, and runs on after you. All right. That is kind of what we're going for here. All right. You can't keep turning around because you're so worried about his progress that you are making it so you're never getting very far away from what has happened. And so the more you dwell on it, the more he feels that. And if he's a sex addict, and he's got problems with working on that, it is a lot to do that. And he has to do that for himself. He has to be able to work through that for himself. Also, to be aware of, as you're moving forward, as you're doing this, you're wanting him to do that. You're wanting him to dig into an addiction. You're wanting him to dig into his past, into things that he is probably very ashamed of. Things can get worse for a bit while he's doing that. So you need to make sure that you're in a good, healthy place where you feel like you're on good, stable ground all by yourself without worrying about his healing, without worrying about a thing that he's doing. Just in your own self, be in that more healed place so that when he starts digging into his history, when he starts really working on the steps and he is opening up those doors, you are in a good place already so that you can reach back then and offer a hand to him. Then you can let him know, oh, I've been here the entire time. I didn't leave you. I wouldn't ever actually just leave you in the store. I am still here, but I had to get to a good place before I could reach back and turn and help you to get to a good place too. Does that make sense to you, Maria? So it's not that you're healing away from him. You are getting to a place where you can be on your feet. Don't worry about him. He'll catch up. It will catch up. As you are the avatar, if you are showing what it is to heal, he's going to start picking up on that. As you start to heal and feel better, then he's going to be like, oh, that looks good. I like healing and feeling better. Let me work on that. All right. You become an inspiration at that point to him by going ahead and handling your own healing and letting that be your sole focus. Hey, we can work on all the relationship stuff, but I'm still working on me. I'm healing me right now. And we can get all the other stuff, we can get that together later. You know what I mean? All right, good. That makes sense? All right, good, good, good. I'm glad. We just don't want to keep looking back. Don't keep looking back. act like, hey, either you catch up or you're gonna get left behind. And that is a big thing. You don't want to get left behind. So if you are moving forward and you're not consistently looking back and making that connection and making the distance seem shorter, then he's gonna be like, oh, I need to get up. I need to run before she leaves me. Right? Kitty, hi Kitty. He's doing everything right, but when I question him, he gets upset and I'm not progressing and moving forward. But I tell him it's hard to believe when I did for so long when he was really lying. How do I progress so he does not shut down? Kitty, same thing I said earlier. Stop asking all those damn questions. Okay? I promise you. Stop. Because what is it doing? If he's already doing the right thing, what are the questions giving you? Because you're mad that he's not like responding the way that you want him to the questions, but he's already doing all the right things you're saying. So what is it you're getting from the questions? Okay, all right. Because people get mad at me when I say stop asking all the damn questions, but that is how you do it. You're getting more anxiety. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It is your trauma response asking all those questions. That's why I was talking about that a little earlier. If you missed it, go back to the beginning. But that's what I was saying. If your anxiety, your trauma response wants you to ask those questions because that's ammunition to use against him. It's enough to push away from him because he's not answering right. So he must not still be right. So even if he's doing all the right things, I can still push away from him. It gives you an excuse. That's what the questions are doing. So it just makes you more anxious, makes you more stressed out, and it puts you further away from him than you would actually want to be. So that's how asking all those questions. Gotta stop doing it. You asking questions about what he did and how he felt and trying to get all the details. That doesn't help you heal. That just makes you more miserable, doesn't it? Every answer he gives you sucks. Have you ever gotten a really good answer from him? I never did. Okay. Any question he answered, the answer sucked. Okay. Did not help me, did not make me feel any better. So I stopped asking the questions. I just started working on my own healing. All right. Alicia said it's true though. It's hard to believe them when they lied. When we believe them before and everything turned out to be lies. But that is true of everybody. There is nobody on this planet who is completely worth our trust. We choose to trust who we want to trust. That's the only criteria for trust. It is a belief. So we choose who we want to believe in. If he's still a person you want to believe in, do that. Don't let being afraid, don't let being hurt stop you from giving something that you want to give to a person you want to have it. All right. You want to be able to trust them. That's why you're struggling so hard with it. That's why it's such a thing. Every single time you hear something from them, you want to trust them. So go ahead and do it. Practice it. Trust is a muscle. You can build it up just like every other muscle in the body. Working against that resistance that your trauma is throwing at you lets you get stronger and stronger, lets the trust get stronger and stronger. I just chose to believe. I was just like, you know what? This is the person I'm going to believe in. I don't have to believe in anybody else. I don't believe a word anybody else says. Every client that I have, I know that they're probably lying a little bit to me because everybody, there's always his version, her version, and the truth. I know everybody that I talk to is telling their version of the truth. They are telling their perception. I can't do anything about that because I'm not in their brain. Our brains are what determine our perception. So what's true to you may not be true to me. Your perception is different from mine. So I stopped trying to be stressing about, oh, is this person lying? Are they trying to be honest with me? Are they trying their best to be vulnerable? Are they trying to do the right things? That's what I look at a little bit more. But this is the person you want to believe in. It's the person you want to trust and love. And it's only one person. I'm not asking you to do this for anybody else. I'm saying this one person, even if they've lied before, because everybody has lied to you before. So even if they've lied to you before, you still want to trust in them, want to believe in them. So you admit that to yourself. And then every time they say something, you say, okay, I'm choosing to believe you. I am deciding on being trusting of you. And when you do that, that shows that you're healing. It shows him that, damn, I better get my shit together because she is out here believing in me. Let me get it together so she's right. Because they don't want to prove you wrong about them. They want you to believe in them. So if you're showing them that you believe in them, if you're making that choice on a daily basis, every time there is an opportunity to trust, you do trust, you are showing them that you are really giving this real forgiveness, real trust again, and they shouldn't mess it up. If you never forgive, you say you're going to forgive, but you never do, and you never trust them. You are showing them that you don't actually mean it. You don't actually mean that you want this relationship to work out. You don't want to reconnect again. You're saying you do, but you're lying, and you're not doing the actions of doing that connection. But when you actually do that connection, that is what gets them. That is what lets them know, oh my God, this woman must love me to be able to try so hard to make this reconnection, to trust me again, to believe in me again, to believe the best of me when I was so shitty. Damn, let me get this together. Let me get it together so she's not wrong. I want her to be right about me. That's really a lot of the time with men, especially, that's a really easy way to go about it. They want to be their best for you. If you, whatever you say he will be, he will be. If he's just a shitty cheater, he's just a shitty cheater. He'll just continue to be a shitty cheater. If that's what you treat him like, he will be. But if you treat him like he is the person that you love so much that you are willing to actually forgive and actually trust again, he will step the hell up and be that man. And if he doesn't, then okay, you know that now. All right. That may happen, but it doesn't usually happen. The years that I've been doing this, when you take that step towards them, they take a couple steps towards you too. They are trying when they see you try. All right. So, you could risk it. People are scared. They feel like they shouldn't risk it. But I mean, if this is the person you love, isn't it worth the risk to maybe be together and be happy? I don't know. To me, it seems like a good risk. Yeah. Let's see. Maria said they didn't help, or I didn't believe him anyway. Good point, Maria. That's another point. That's always the issue. Like, you can ask the question, but are you going to believe the answer? Are you going to? Are you going to actually believe what they say? It always trips me out, especially when women are like, I don't believe what he's saying. I'm going to go ask the mistress. Okay, hold on. You believe the mistress? You trust her, but you don't trust him. Hold on, wait. We've got to back that up a little bit. If you're gonna trust somebody, don't you think you might want to trust the person that you love and not the person that was out here cheating with them that you don't know? I think I'd rather trust the person that I love. All right? But you don't believe them. You don't believe them when you're in this state, when you're in this trauma. It's hard to believe them. You gotta heal some before you can like really believe them. But acting as if you trust, taking the belief that they're gonna do the right thing, trying to hold tight to that is what you need to like really start to move forward to show that you really mean it and you really do want to heal. Kitty said, I tend to react and go 0 to 100. Yes, ma'am. How can I speak to him in a way that shows I do believe in him and trust what he is saying? If you have the 0 to 100 reaction, you got to start paying more attention. You are opening your mouth before you are feeling your body. You are just living in your head, and when the thought and the feeling come up in your head, you just go ahead and spill it on out of your mouth, and now we're mad, now we're arguing. Pay closer attention to your body as you go through the day. While you're doing the deep breathing, remember deep breathing 5 times a day. Set that in your clock, in your phone, and then every single day when that alarm goes off on your phone, you do your deep breathing and then you check your body. Start from your toes and work your way up. Is there tightness? Is there tension? Am I sweating? Am I clenching muscles? What is going on in my body? Because you will be triggered before you actually know that you're triggered. That's why it's 0 to 100, because you don't recognize 1 through 60. Okay? You didn't even know that 1 through 60 was happening inside your body, but it's cranking up, it's ratcheting up, and all of a sudden, any old thing can set you the rest of the way from 60 to 100. It doesn't take much at that point. So pay attention. I feel it is a twist and a drop in my stomach. Every single time when the triggers are gonna bother me, when anxiety is creeping up on me, that's what it is. Twist, drop. All right. I know that feeling in myself. You got to figure out what that feeling is in you. What is it that tightens up, clenches, feels bad on the inside of you before you feel that way, before you explode? All right. If you're doing this and monitoring yourself, monitoring your body, and where there's tension building up, where there's tightness, or your jaws clenching, where your shoulders are up like this, and start to actually work with your body and calm that reaction, do your deep breathing, let your shoulders down and back, expand your chest so you can breathe. Try and get that whooshing to stop in your ears by doing your deep breathing. Whatever it is that you need to do to calm it back down, let that part of your body start to react and start to relax instead of not react. Let that part of your body start to relax. When you do that consistently, it will be much easier not to flip right out and go right over the edge every single solitary time. All right. And the less you flip out, the more he's going to pay attention. All right. Also, a good motivator for this. The less you freak out, the more he's going to be paying attention to what's going on. Now, he may even poke with it a little bit. If you haven't been freaking out, he might poke the piece a little bit. Let him, all right? And show him that you are getting regulated, you are getting in control of your emotions, and that you can be calmer, cooler, able to communicate a lot better than you have been. That shows I'm healing. I am trying to heal. I am working on healing. I am paying attention to healing. Come on along with me for this ride. All right. So, speaking to him in a way that shows you do believe him, if you can start with getting your body calmer, he's going to feel that. Okay. I know a lot women tell me all the time, be like, I didn't say it to him though. But if you are totally clenched, everything on you is tight, you're wound tight like a spring, he can feel that. Okay? I promise you. He can feel all of that tension wound up in your body. So if you are constantly working on that, bringing that down, centering that, doing your deep breathing, releasing that tightness and that tension in your chest and your stomach, unclench your butt, all of those things. Do those things. And then when you do speak, you are speaking from a calmer place. And then he can believe it. Then he's like, okay, she's not freaking out. She's not just trying to say any old thing to make me believe that she's calmer. She actually physically is calmer. Does that make sense to you, Kitty? Let me know. It's a lot of getting into your body. This trauma, people are like, oh, trauma's all in your head, but trauma is a physical manifestation, okay? That's why that's a lot of what I took care of as a nurse. People will be in trauma and their bodies will be reacting to the trauma. And then you got to actually do something about that reaction besides the mental reaction. It's not just the mental part of hurting like this. It is the physical reaction that happens throughout your body that you have to do something about to heal it. All right. Okay, good. That makes sense. Good, good, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Oh, y'all asked good questions tonight. I love it. All right. Anybody got anything else before I get ready to go? I still, I will answer your questions. If anybody's got anything else, oh, I love being with y'all, right? I love to come and talk to y'all about this. My honey tells me all the time now, he's like, I wish I never cheated on you. I was like, Well, yeah, but then I wouldn't get to talk to all the ladies and help them. So, if I had to go through it, at least it was for something good. At least it was able to tell you all about this instead of it just being, oh, well, I just suffered for no reason. And, hey, if I suffered, thank God it was for something. Thank God. All right. So, affirmations. Affirmations. Last thing I'm going to talk to you about. This is another thing that I want you to be doing on a consistent, regular basis. Madewell, I see you over there. Hey, girl. Um, you need to be paying attention to what you say to yourself about yourself. Okay? It's important. I promise you, it is super important to do. Whatever you tell yourself about yourself is an affirmation. All right? You are telling yourself that this is true of you. Even if it's a bad thing, it's still an affirmation. Okay? So we've got to be extra careful with this. We've got to be careful and tell ourselves good, positive messages so that our brain hangs on to those instead of those negative ones about ourselves. The trauma will tell you, oh, you're so weak and you're gonna be the doormat and he's just gonna cheat on you again. It'll tell you all of that, right? Whatever you consistently let your brain tell you or say over and over again, that's what your brain will believe. But if you say, no, absolutely not, that is not true. We are a wonderful couple. He made a mistake. I am willing to believe that he is not going to hurt me like this again. I trust in that. We are going to be just fine. All right. And you say that consistently, day after day after day after day after day, that's what your brain will believe. But it's very easy for it to default to the negative. Okay. So we've got to be conscious about giving ourselves those positive things to say about ourselves. And that's what an affirmation is. It is convincing your brain of a completely different thought than what you've been having. All right. So we need those affirmations. We need those good words over and over and over again. That's why you pick an affirmation and then you say it all day. So what you're going to do, you're going to get your affirmation together. You're going to look yourself in the eye, whether it's in your camera, in your mirror, and you're going to say the affirmation like you mean it, okay? You're going to say it with all the faith and confidence that you have in your bones that this is the truth about you and nobody else can tell you different, all right? So we need to be working on that. Sandy, absolutely. Also, the law of attraction, it is exactly like that. Whatever you say, you are going to bring about. Okay? It is guaranteed. I promise you. Whatever you keep on thinking about, you bring about. This is the reason why they tell you don't look in the ditch when you're driving. Because if you look off into the ditch, you're going to start driving off into the ditch. Okay? It's the way our brains work. What we focus on is what we go towards. All right? So that's why the law of attraction works. Right? That's why that stuff works like that. All right. So instead of doing that, we have to tell ourselves the good stuff. All right. It's Barbara, right? Madewell. This is okay. Let's see. How to trust after 2+ confirmed physical affairs with a lack of taking responsibility. Okay. All right. We're gonna talk about that before we do an affirmation. We'll do this real quick. Um, how to trust is practice. How to trust is I am going to choose to trust, and when there's an opportunity to trust, I will do so. That's how you do it. There's not no other trick to it. There's nothing else that you can do besides that. It is choosing it, and then when the opportunity arises to exercise that choice, you do. That's it. That's as simple as I can make it. That is what you do every single solitary time if you want to trust, because you're training your brain what you want it to do. And so if you keep on telling it, I believe, I do not believe he is messing up anymore. I don't think that he's running around with anybody else. I don't think there is any other more affairs to be discovered. I don't think that that's what's going on right now. I believe in this person. I think that they're going to do right by me. it's consistently telling yourself that message. The trust, it's all about telling yourself a different story. It's so much about that. Um, what the story that you tell yourself is what you'll live. So if you're consistently telling yourself that I can't trust him, he's always such a cheater, he keeps on cheating, he doesn't take any responsibility for it, and it's just never going to be any different, it's never going to change, that is the life that you will live. Okay? Instead of doing that, you said the exact opposite. Hey, this has happened, but I think that I'm going to be able to trust him going forward. I'm going to believe in him. This is a person that I love, who I know loves me, and they're going to do the right things. And I'm going to believe every time there is an opportunity to believe it, I'm going to believe that they're going to do the right thing. And the whole taking responsibility, I mean, he's caught. There's not too much responsibility you can really take. No, a lot of people don't want to take responsibility when they are really super wrong. They are stressed about that. They are hurting. They are feeling bad about themselves. They don't want to say that. As you go move forward on the healing path, that changes. Because mine was like no responsibility, no remorse, no nothing. Okay, he wasn't giving me anything to work with. But now, constantly telling me, I understanding deeper what happened with him. He's like, I'm thinking back on things that happened when I was a kid, and, uncles and stuff bringing him over to their girlfriend's house when, his aunt was at home, different things like that. And so he takes more responsibility about for it now. He's like, damn, that was kind of messed up the way that I was taught, but okay, now I'm going to be responsible and make sure that my son knows not to do it that way. So that responsibility piece that changes. It's getting started on the path that's important. And once you get started on the path, get started on the healing, it shows him that okay, that is the direction that we are going. You are not just going to suffer for this for the rest of our lives. We are going to heal from this, but I'm moving forward. I need you to come on and move forward too. So the more you heal, the more you will be showing him what he is supposed to do. Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know if you need anything clearer on that. Does that make sense over there on Facebook? Let me know. It's hard. It's hard with the trust. But if you make up your mind that what you want to do is trust, then when you will be faced with opportunities. Trust me. When you make up your mind, you're like, okay, I really want to trust this person. You will have opportunities, whether you're going to trust or not trust. And again, paying attention to your body, paying attention to how your body is responding to that opportunity, because it'll get all tight and it'll get all tense and it'll tell you, no, 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 we can't trust. It's scary. It's gonna hurt. And you acknowledge that feeling, but you say, you know what? I want to live in a relationship, in a communicative partnership where I trust. And that is what I'm choosing to do. I am choosing to offer that out into the universe. I want trust. I'm going to behave in a trusting manner. And that voice in your head starts to get a little quieter. The more you do it, the more consistent you are with it, the quieter that voice gets. But it takes practice. He said, makes sense. However, he has broken his word a number of times. Oh yeah, they do for sure. But the thing is, everybody does that. This is the one person that you want to be with for the rest of your life. So there's gonna be times where he breaks his word. That's absolutely guaranteed. That's not an excuse not to. You're gonna have times where you break your word. Okay, that's not an excuse for him not to trust you, right? we this is one person that even when they do the wrong thing, you still believe in the best of them, because that is what you're going for here. You're going for a partner for this lifetime that you believe the best of. Do you want to be believed less than that? Do you want him to believe in you less than that? No, of course not. You want him to believe in you, so you believe in him. All right. You are gonna break your word to each other over the years. Me and my husband have been together for 22 years. Yeah, we break our word sometimes. Sometimes it does not go the way that we think things are going to go. Things go wrong at times. We try and make it up to each other. We try not to make promises that we won't be able to keep, but every now and again that does happen. And you forgive for that. This is a person, the only person that you are trying to connect to for the rest of your life. You don't have to forgive anybody else. If somebody else lies to you, breaks their word, you can cut them off and never deal with them again. But this is one person that you really want to do that with. So don't stop yourself and don't make your relationship less than it could be by allowing yourself not to believe in the person that you love. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I know it's hard. I know it makes sense, but it's hard to do. It's difficult. It's painful. You're like, damn it, why do I have to trust you? But you would want him to trust you too. You know what you want? You want him to be able to trust you, you to be able to trust him, good things to happen in life. And then, you build on it one thing at a time. I know that he hasn't always broken his word, right? He has broken his word sometimes, yes, but you're saying, okay, this is two physical affairs in your whole relationship, so he's not lying all the time. All right, you got to take into account the good things too. You got to take into account where he is correct and doing the right things too. So I'm tired of his lies, trusting over and over, and he hurts me again and again. I don't think you've been trusting over and over. Okay, I will say this just because it has not happened yet. Every woman that tells me that is saying that they've been trusting over and over again, and they haven't. They never believed, never really trusted, did not work on trust, expected him to trust, to do the things to make her trust again. But most women who say that to me have not been trusting over and over again. Now, I can understand if you feel like that. I get how you can feel like that, but actually doing it is a little bit different. To actually trusting again, if it's constantly on your mind, I don't believe in him. That still comes through in your attitude. It still comes through in everything that you do interacting together. And so you can say, "Oh, I'm trusting you," but if you don't actually, they can feel it. So if you don't actually, then you can say, I'm trusting you," and then you're lying, and they know that you're lying. So then they're like, "Oh, you want to talk about trust, but you can lie to me over and over again." So you can, if you're just tired and you don't want to deal with them anymore, you don't want them anymore. I get it, but it is very, very possible to get to a much better place where you do trust them and you do have a good, happy relationship with each other again. Just got get past this part. Just get past this part. Send me a message. I'm starting a group pretty soon. You want to jump in on it? We're gonna be working on the trust. We're gonna be working on that in the group. So if you're interested, message me. Let me know. Okay. I can help you with this. This is not impossible. This is not so big that it can't be overcome. It feels like that when your trust has been broken, but trust is practice. Trust is an exercise you can do. Okay? It's not one of those things that, "Oh, well, I'll just never have trust again." You can work on it. It's not one of those things that poof, it just disappears forever. No, you can actually work on it. It can come back. All right? Right? Actions count on both sides. They do, absolutely do, but you can't be worried about his. That's where you're probably throwing yourself off. You're worried about his actions and not worried as much about your own. When you keep on looking back at his actions, you take your eye off your own emotional healing and you kind of throw yourself back a little bit. So it's better not to worry yourself about what he's doing. You worry about your healing, and that's it. Now, everybody always wants to tell me that. They're like, "Oh, but it counts on both sides. They're supposed to do the right thing too." Sure, but you don't have any control over that. That's not what you have control over. It's not even any really, it's not really even your business. What they do is their business. What you do is your business. And if you are wanting that happy, healthy, loving relationship again, you can't be worried about their part. You have to worry about the part of you that is holding you back from that. Nothing else will matter if you don't work on your part. They could be doing all the things. Who just said that? Who just said that he was doing all the things? Dang, I can't say all that. I can't remember. I don't know. Whoever that was. Somebody just was talking about that. They're like, oh, he's doing all of the things, but I still don't trust him. So you think that that will, you think that that's all you need to do is get him to do the right thing, and you be all fixed. It'll be all done. But it doesn't really work like that. Like, oh, I still can't see it. I wanted to call by name. Who said it? Um, is it true? That's me. Kitty said that. Kitty just said that. Kitty said he's doing everything, but I'm still questioning him. I'm still freaking out. I'm still going 0 to 10. So it does not matter what his actions are. Your healing is about you. Okay? You can get that. That is the only thing that I want you to get from me. Anytime you talk to me, anytime that you are going through something, your healing is the main focus here. Don't worry about his part. When you start concerning yourself with his part, that gives you justifications not to do your part. And then nobody gets it. Then it's just terrible things happening. We're not doing right. Nobody's doing right. Everybody's feeling bad. Exactly. Kenny said it. Yeah. We don't need that. We don't need to do that and concern ourselves with his part. Concern yourself with your part, how you're going to heal, how you're going to move forward, how right your actions are going to be, showing that I'm right. You know what I mean? Because I love to be right. So I do those right actions going forward, and then that shows what I'm expecting from him. Instead of bitching and complaining about it to him, I'm showing him. I'm being the avatar. I'm like, see, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Then he follows along a little bit better. Hopefully that makes sense. Sandy says, Sandy, I was blindsided by my husband was living a double life for 18 months. I can't believe I missed it completely. I have a fear of them getting together. She's with someone else, but they wanted to remain friends and try to continue communicating until I caught him. And as far as I know, they have not since he wrote her an email telling her not to contact him over 3 months ago. Okay, well, that's good. All right. So great of not knowing again. So, oh, you're afraid of a fear of not knowing again. Um, but I'm like, you still figured it out though, did you? Did you just say you did figure it out? So even if you do miss it, let's even if you missed it for another 18 months, you're still gonna figure it out. You have shown yourself that you will figure it out. Most of us can figure it out. You know, we give ourselves a hard time about it. Even if it didn't, if it took you a little longer, okay, fine. But most of us know. Most of us can figure it out. So don't get yourself all worked up about, oh, if I don't know again, you will. You will. You did this. You did this time. I am positive that you can do it again. All right. Positive. You don't even worry about that. You can let that fear completely go. And you won't. You would know. All right. So work from that. Work from, okay, I would know if this is going on again, and then work from there to start to heal. You feel like you're on guard? Absolutely. And it does feel like that. You feel like, oh, I gotta keep this wall up to him because he might hurt me. And the whole thing is, this is the way I feel about it. And you know, you may not feel the same way about it as I do, but I gotta be honest with you. A little pain for the love that I got was worth it. It was. I can say it to you now from the perspective of having gone through it, having dealt with it, having come through the other side, and all the wonderful things that happened because I came through on the other side. And the pain that I experienced then, 4 years out of our 22, the years then was worth all of the love that I got. All of the trouble that we went through was worth it for the pain, for the love that we got to experience together. I know that that's hard when you're in the midst of it because the pain seems like it's overwhelming and it's just so much. But I am at the point where I got past the pain and just have been living in the love. And it's worth it. All right. If you had to suffer a little bit to have the love of your life, to have this great love, to have this magic, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a little bit worth it. So being afraid of pain is pointless. You are a human being here on this planet. I guarantee you, you are going to hurt again. I promise you that. Cross my heart, you will be hurt again. But in the meantime, do you just not have love? You just keep that wall up and keep on guard and don't have any good until you get hurt again? Because it's not a matter of if, it's when. So that's just being a person on this planet. It might not even be him that does it, but would you rather live in this time where you're not hurting, thinking about hurting, worrying about hurting, instead of just living and being happy in this time, loving and being excited about this time? And if you get hurt, okay, fine, but at least I got all of this other good time to go back and look at. You know, like you gotta balance it out. You gotta wait a little bit better than just, oh, I don't want it to be. Like, no, you don't get a life with no pain. None of us get that. We do not get that. That has never been the expectation. What do I have? Do I have something good, beautiful, and wonderful and magical, and that makes me feel joyous in between the pain, or do I have a whole bunch of fear of pain leading up to, okay, I get hurt again, and then more fear of pain until I get hurt again? You know what I mean? The way that I look at it, being on guard from getting the fun things that you could be in this time, you stop you from having it, and then you're guaranteed more pain. So then you don't get any enjoyment, and then you get more pain. It just never made sense to me. Does that tell me tell me how you feel about that? It never worked for me. It never made sense to do that. For me, it was like, okay, I gotta live right this minute, and I'm gonna enjoy right this minute. And when some more pain comes up, okay, all right, I'll just deal with that pain then. So he said, that is hard, but yes, marriage is better than ever now. 30 years married, 1 year past. Okay, I know that's right, girl. I know that's right. That's what I'm talking about. So it, yes, it is bad, but then there is period where you're healing, going well, and you are showing that even though things can be bad, it can be terrible, it can get so much better because you pick the right person, you got the right partner who you can do that with. If you are just not happy with that person, you don't want to be with them, okay, that's okay. If you got a good, solid partner who makes you happy on most of their days, let the wall down. Let the guard go. You don't have to do it because if you got that wall up, you're trying so hard to give love, but it's just going on the ground at your feet. You're walking around. You're not getting that love outside to him. And then if he's on the other side of the wall, he's throwing love at you, but he can't get to you either. It's just bouncing off and sticking to the ground at your feet too. So you got to be aware of that. Let that wall down. Let yourself be close to the person that you want to be close with. All right? I know it's hard. I know it is, but you're like, it's better, right? It is better, and it gets better and better, honey. Trust and believe. It's 16 years at this point after the last due date. Every single year has gotten better. Okay, every year got better and better and better. Better and better husband, better and better about being attentive to my needs and my wants. And, I think it was worth it. I'm here to tell you that when you actually forgive somebody for something that they want to make it up to you. They want to show you that you made the right choice. Just gotta give it a little time, got a little space, let it work, let it cook, and then you get all the good results. All right. Oh, all right. Is that it? Thank you, everybody. Anybody else got good questions for me? You know, I'm scared all night, but nobody's waiting. I guess I can cut it short now. All righty. So back to affirmations. Affirmations. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. Just keep breathing, just like you're doing journaling, just like you're doing your gratitude, just like you're doing your asking questions. I need you to be doing your affirmations every day. Look yourself in the eye. You're welcome, Sandy. Look yourself in the eye and say it like you mean it. Have a record in your brain of you saying this affirmation like it is the most true thing you've ever heard about yourself. Okay? So today's affirmation is today I am special. Oh, I like being special. I feel special. Today I will realize that I am a unique, one of a kind person. All right? And you can compare. Oh, guess what? Because you are special, because you are unique, you can't be compared to any other woman, all right? You are you. Everything about you is beautiful, radiant, wonderful light, okay? You don't have to compare yourself to anybody else. You are special on your own, okay? So today I am special. Today I will realize that I am a unique, one of a kind person. And you really are. I'm here forgiving and trusting again. You are unique, girl. You are unique. All right, yo. I think that's about it. So much for coming and joining me for our first Healing Hour Live back from the holiday. I hope you have gotten everything that you get out of this time with each other. I always get such wonderful feedback from y'all. I feel so great when I get off with you all. So thank you all for coming. Let's see, do your deep breathing, do your journaling, do your gratitude, do your questions, and say your affirmation. And don't do what the fear tells you to do, okay? It's the wrong path. I promise you, whatever you do, it's the wrong path. All right. So until next week, next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will say goodbye to you from the Healing Hour One, and I will check you out again then. All right? Rachel, bye. Bye, Instagram. And bye over here on Facebook and YouTube.